Welcome to Does It Matter by Brainy Ballers, where we dissect the game with cutting-edge analytics to give you the upper hand. We analyze everything from hand sizes to average depth of targets to uncover hidden trends that no one else sees. Say goodbye to guesswork and hello to data-driven domination. Because here at Brainy Ballers, we don't just watch the game, we understand it. So get ready, it's podcast time.
Okay, so if you play fantasy football, you know the tight end position. It can be agonizing, right?
Oh, absolutely. So many potential busts. Very hard to predict sometimes.
Exactly. But what if there was like a better tool? Today we're diving into something called the tight end Star-Predictor Score, SPS for short. We want to see, how well it actually forecasts future success for these guys.
Yeah. Can it help find those undervalued players?
Exactly. So our mission today for you is to figure out how this SPS might help you spot those undervalued guys, or maybe challenge what everyone thinks about the big draft picks. Let's get into it.
Sounds good. So the SPS, at its heart, it's a scouting tool designed for prospect evaluation, trying to boost your investment potential, basically, and cut down the risk on rookies.
Makes sense. Rookie tees are notoriously tricky.
Tell me about it. And what's really interesting is the groundwork. They use data all the way back to 2003, applied it to every single tight end drafted or signed as an undrafted free agent since then.
It pulls together 13 different metrics into one score.
It's a percentile grade, so 100.0 is like the best prospect ever, theoretically.
Like a final grade.
Exactly. And for this analysis we're looking at, they focused on the top 50 fantasy finishers each year since '03, using PPR scoring.
Okay, standard scoring.
Yep. And they specifically compared those top guys to the bottom 10 finishers, so 41st to 50th place, just to see the contrast.
Right, so you've looked through this stuff. What's the big takeaway? Did a clear trend jump out?
Oh, it was incredibly clear. Honestly, almost couldn't miss it. Higher SPS scores consistently, and I mean consistently, line up with better fantasy scores.
So it wasn't subtle?
Not at all. Those top 10 fantasy TEs since 2003, they consistently had way higher SPS scores than the guys finishing, say, 31st to 50th.
How much higher?
The average gap was 21.42 points on the SPS scale. And that held up across all 21 seasons. It wasn't just a one-off thing.
21 seasons. That really reinforces the predictive idea, doesn't it?
It really does.
Okay, now this part seemed really key for, actually using this. They adjusted the score range.
Right. After all the testing and looking back at the historical data, they pinpointed an optimal range at 60.0 SPS and above.
60 or higher, okay.
And targeting players in that range. It boosted the chance of landing a top 10 fantasy finisher by, get this, 35.1% compared to drafting guys in that bottom 10 SPS group.
Wow, 35%. That's significant. So that 60-plus grade, that's basically the benchmark you should be looking for.
That's the magic number they landed on, yeah. But then the question becomes, okay, how strong is this link? Statistically speaking.
Right, correlation.
Exactly. They use the Pearson correlation value.
Do you want to start dominating your drafts? At brainyballers.com, we've researched every metric under the sun for you to find which ones are best linked to fantasy points. You can access hundreds of metrics to sharpen your scouting abilities so you know which metrics matter and which are just noise. Stop guessing on which thresholds to look for within each metric. Big numbers can be misleading or irrelevant. Our ultimate athlete blueprints reveal essential scouting metrics, their importance, and benchmarks within each metric that help predict a player's probability of being a success or bust. Elevate your scouting ability with Brainy Ballers' Ultimate Athlete Blueprints today. Click the link in the description. Now back to the show.
For SPS predicting fantasy points since 2003, it came out at .398.
Okay, .398. How good is that really? In football terms.
In football analytics, which is messy, that's actually a really strong signal. Consider this. The best correlation they found before across 43 different metrics for tight ends was only .272.
Whoa, so this SPS blows that away.
Pretty much.
So it's better than things like yards per route run, stuff people normally look at.
Yep, beat that out. And, maybe more surprisingly, it even beat draft capital. Draft position itself only had a correlation of .270.
Okay, hold on. Better than draft capital. How does that work? Doesn't where you get drafted usually mean something?
It does, but SPS seems to capture something more fundamental about their potential. Think about Trey McBride. His SPS was 82.7.
High.
Or Brock Bowers, 81.4. Both landed in the top 10 all-time prospects according to SPS. Now, sure, you still get misses. Kyle Pitts had a high SPS and high draft capital, and he hasn't quite hit fantasy-wise yet.
Right, the outliers.
Exactly. But the key thing is, SPS seems to miss less than just relying on draft position alone.
So you're saying if you compare them head-to-head?
They did exactly that. Looked at TEs drafted in the first 3 rounds since 2003. SPS showed a stronger positive correlation to career fantasy points, 0.475.
Okay, positive, higher SPS, higher points.
Right. Draft capital. It actually had a negative 0.407, which sounds weird, but it means a lower draft number, so a higher pick, is linked to success. But the SPS link is statistically stronger and more direct for predicting actual fantasy points.
Huh. So a high pick is good, but a high SPS is like even better predictive information.
That's what the data suggests. And it's not like this is old news fading away. They saw the average SPS for top 10 finishers actually increasing in the last decade.
Interesting. So it's becoming even more relevant.
Seems that way.
Okay, so let's wrap this up. What's the bottom line for you listening? This SPS metric, it really does look like a valuable tool for looking at tight ends.
Definitely offers a different data-backed angle.
Yeah, the fact that top fantasy guys consistently have these higher SPS scores really shows it's got predictive weight. It's not just noise.
Right. It helps distinguish between players, maybe make that final call on someone you're unsure about.
So remember that benchmark, 60.0 SPS or higher. That seems to be the sweet spot for finding future top TE talent. Could give you a real edge.
It's another tool for the toolbox.
Definitely. So here's something to chew on. What does it mean to you that a single score, based on college production and athleticism, might actually challenge decades of traditional scouting wisdom, especially draft position? Something to think about as you dig into your own draft prep.